okay. So this guy came and rescued her, and he thought she looked great in the Ariel costume, and now she's doing this
He
whole
was
like,
a pizza delivery boy too.
right, like this whole thing just went on in my head.
Showed up with a large sausage.
Guess who's back?
Today we have a special guest. If you could introduce yourself, share, give us a little bit about your bio, your name, your Instagram, and then tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. My name is Cher Woods. I'm originally from Torrance. I just moved to Paris. My Instagram is Sherwoods, SCHERWOODSS. I also have an OnlyFans. That's Cher Bear, SCHERBEAR. I've been modeling for a little over 13 years now. I'm also a special effects makeup artist. I do like all those like prosthetics and stuff for scary movies. And then I also own a princess party company where I dress up as like party characters. And then I also do face painting, balloon twisting, airbrush tattoos, arts and crafts, and just character entertainment on weekends. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome to Blkcinder, Cher.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
absolutely. So we wanted to have a segment where we kind of let our guests ask us some questions, and the panel will kind of give you a response to some dating questions. So I know you had 3 lined up. If you when you're ready, go ahead and fire away, and each one of us will take turns kind of answering your questions for you.
Of course. So for the first one, I guess it's, what do you guys think about girls that sleep with you on the very first date?
Miles Johnson, go ahead and field that one first. We're coming to you.
One of the qualities that's most attractive to me in a woman is her taste in men. So if she sleeps with me on the first night, that cements that she has wonderful taste in men. So I find that to be very attractive. Uh, that's about all I got. I'm all about it. I'm in favor of it.
All right. Jamie, go ahead and take a crack at it. What do you think about women who sleep with men on the first date?
One thing I want to make sure we're not just generalizing, because it's kind of piggybacks off of what Miles says. You really got to be feeling it. It really has to be something. I have done that before, and me and this person ended up getting engaged to be married. So with that being said, I don't think people mind if the flow is right and it makes sense. I'm not saying every dude, but when it makes sense, I don't shame people. I don't think it's a terrible thing. And sometimes it can work out for the best. It's, to each their own. It's, the situations are different.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad at it.
All right. Kev, what do you think about women who sleep with guys on the first date?
Yeah, I'm far from anybody that can judge anyone for whatever reason. So if somebody's partaking in sleeping with a man on the first date, young ladies sleeping with a man on the first date, that more power to her. They could, like in Jamie's case, turn into an engagement. It could be a one-night stand, right? But I think either way, there's not a whole lot of judgment to be had. I think people should have fun, right? You want to be safe and have fun, and as long as you understand the consequences, something we talked about in past podcasts, you can go on ahead and do your thing, but there's no judgment from me on that. I think people should enjoy their lives and do what they want to do, but it's all about fun to me, and if somebody wants to have that kind of fun on the first date, more power to them.
All right. So here's my thing. If you just want to have sex, hey, it's self-explanatory. Go ahead and sleep with the person on the first date. If you're looking for a long-term relationship, I think women should only sleep with men. I'm sorry. I think women should only consider men that they want to sleep with on the first date. I call it the first date rule. If you are not super interested in a guy to where you admire him and desire him physically, you admire who he is as a man, you desire him physically, and you want to sleep with him on the first night, then that's a guy that you should really be interested in long term. If you don't feel that way, you shouldn't be interested in men long term if they don't make you feel that way on the first night. And when I say the first night, I mean, there's talking on the phone. Maybe you guys meet up for coffee, do a little bit more talking, and then you go on the first date, right? I'm not saying you meet him today, tomorrow you want to sleep with him. You gotta dive deeper into it. You have to really understand, are you guys aligned with each other? Do you guys think the same way? Do you want the same things? And if you feel like, you know what, I am safe with this man, I am impressed by this man, and I physically desire this man, those are the only men you should think long term about, because you want to sleep with that man right in the beginning. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. What'd you think about that advice, Cher?
That's interesting. It's good to know that people are so open about it, because like I guess the stigma is you kind of hear like, oh, like you should wait like, at least 3 dates, or like wait like, like 3 weeks in. And it's just interesting to hear that it's like, oh no, it's fine. Because it's like, me personally, like I kind of have to have like that connection with someone, but obviously no judgment. If someone like has that connection right away, then I say go for it.
So do you not feel like it's possible for you to have a first date connection that leads to intimacy, or is that just off the table?
No, for me, it takes a little while. I have to get to know them. Even like meeting up with them, like I have to get to know them and like go on several dates to be like, okay, I trust this guy, because my ass gets attached. So like I need to make sure they're really into me, and I'm not just like, hello, then I'm like, oh, I love you. No, not really, but like I don't want it to be like that and be like, okay,
But
bye.
kind of.
Like I need to make
Here's
sure
where
you
you
actually really like me before I give myself away, because I know I'm a lover and I get attached. So I can't do it
here's
unless
where
you
you want to be
really like
cautious
prove
though.
yourself that you're into me just as much as I'm into you. And then okay.
You want to be careful here, Cher, because what men are really good at is excuse my language,
Uh-oh.
auditioning for pussy. So you won't necessarily be able to tell whether he's really into you. Like we can keep that shit up for 3-4 dates if we really have just made our minds up that we want to take this down. Um, whether you do it the first night or the fifth night, you're kind of seeing the best of us because we're auditioning, we're tap dancing, and trying to like crack the combination and do the right combination of shit that's gonna crack that lock. So don't I'm not saying you're wrong, but don't feel like, oh, because I've been on 4 dates with him, he must really be sincere with all this shit he's doing. Just putting that out there.
Well, here's what I
That's
would
true.
here's what I would say, Cher. You got to vet the men that you're interested in, and you got to vet them hard. You got to ask them tough questions right off the rip. None of that. What's your zodiac sign? What's your favorite color? Bullshit. Like you need to be asking real hard questions. Are you aligned with me? Do you want to get married? When do you want to get married? Do you got a plan for me? Like you should be asking hard questions, because those are the questions that your dad would be asking. And if somebody tells you, oh, I don't want to answer those questions, it's too early, he wouldn't be saying that to your dad. And so at that point, if people are shucking and jiving and they don't want to answer hard questions, then they ain't about shit. Keep it moving. That's how you really get past the bullshit that most men do on the first, second, and third date when they're really not that interested in you.
And you know what, too, just to add to that, I think it's everything you guys are saying, but it's all about the way we feel. We're extremely intuitive. And I always say this, even on other shows, like, without deducing and adding and his performance and the timing of the phone call, and that we be knowing. And so when we can lean into what we be knowing, because when I met my ex-fiance, I saw him, I was like, he is so fine. I want him. So I put myself in his eye line. I was like, oh, I'm from here too. And he took it from there. That first night, we talked for 5 hours. He made sure to set a date. He brought me flowers. We ate. We did. There was no reason for me to say no. That's the way I was feeling. I wasn't thinking so much about even, all of these questions and whatnot. And it's the longest relationship I ever had. So you kind of just also got to lean into how you're feeling. But I feel like what trips us up is some of these things, like, I don't want to get attached, and is it this and is it that? When you can clear all that out of the way and be present, you'll know how to move, in my opinion.
All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, let's go to question number 2, Cher.
Awesome. So question number 2 is how do you guys find someone to like date organically? I feel like I've been out of the loop because I was with my ex-fiance. Well, not that I'm looking for anyone now, but I was with my ex-fiance for like over 10 years, and then I dated another guy on and off for like 2 years, and then I've been with like my current partner for like a year. But I just wonder, like, how do people find someone organically? Because all my friends are on these like dating apps nowadays, and I'm like afraid. I'm like, is this like the future now?
Okay, why don't you go ahead and take a crack at this one, since you're the resident married guy. How did you find your wife? Hold on for me one sec. I gotta get us back in here. Yeah.
Do it live.
We'll do it live. Go ahead, Kay. I don't know what the hell's going on with this goddamn thing. It's killing me right now.
So me being the one married man on the show, I oddly enough, I'm not 100% sure how to do that. I've been married for 13 years and been with my wife for 16. So I've been out of the loop. But what I would say is bars is probably not the best place. A dating app that's not going into, some of those questions that KB was talking about earlier, really getting to understand the type of people you are. Like if you're on a dating app where it's about just getting some ass, you're probably not going to find somebody that you want to date. You're going to find somebody you want to give some ass to. So that's probably not the best place. I'd say like grocery stores might be a good spot, like just in the public where you're walking around and you're seeing people that are more in a general setting, more in their more informal settings, right? Not where they're getting ready to go out and put on the show, similar to what Miles was talking about earlier, right? We're just putting on a straight, almost a facade, right? You want to get people in their genuine place. I watched Boys in the Hood last night. If you're into it, church might be a good spot, to find someone. So those areas where I think people are in their informal state and they're not trying to be put themselves up on a pedestal and be a different person just for the night are some of the better places to find a mate.
All right, Jamie, go ahead and give this young lady some advice.
So I am not into dating apps. There's nothing about dating apps. I'm not about to sit up here and swipe nothing ever. Not my thing, not my stilo. So, sometimes I'll be out and about. Recently, I'm kind of seeing a lot of my guy friends that are just platonic friends or be like, oh, I was messaging you and my boy saw your profile and he thought this and that. I've had some conversations and some dinner dates over that. Believe it or not, doing these podcasts, I've met men from doing and meeting these podcasts. And next thing you know, we're, dinner, being flown out and whatever else. So that's been fun. Yeah, I mean, I like to have a good time. Yeah.
Flued out, huh?
Flued out.
Oh, man.
I do like the idea of the grocery store. I don't think I've met anyone there yet, but I have seen a couple of good-looking guys in the grocery store. And I'm not really huge on, I don't know. The bar scenes I go to are kind of sexy, cute, classy. So it doesn't give me like bar. We're not chugging beers in some whole, it's the kind of place you might want to meet somebody. So and then little cute places like Joey's and just being out and about, like it comes around. I've met in the gym. I've met guys in the gym. So I just believe that you can meet people organically. I don't think that's gone away. I don't think you need to go digging and searching through an app. I think you just need to be living your life and stay open.
Miles, where are you meeting at all these people organically?
So I think the question, from your point of view, it's a little different because for the most part, you're not going to be the pursuer. You if anything, you're putting yourself in position to be pursued organically, which is a different question. As far as me, or as a, KJ is married, but like just as a dude, I can decide to meet somebody anywhere I want. I can decide to meet somebody organically at the grocery store, you know, at the 7-Eleven, the chick in front of me holding up the line buying scratch offs. If I decide to, you know, fuck my life up, I can talk to her, you know. But like, I think for a lot of women who aren't necessarily used to or comfortable with walking up to a complete stranger and knowing how to close just off the approach, like that's the kind of thing that's a skill that men develop over time because we have to. You know, y'all pretty much just come up, smile, and blink slow, and we buy y'all drinks. We don't get it like y'all get it. So I think the apps might be the most proactive path for you guys to, you know, see dudes that you like and actually approach them. I mean, because correct me if I'm wrong, Cher, Jamie, but when's the last time you walked up to a dude you like and just freestyled off the cuff and walked away with something positive? I don't know. Is that a thing in your world?
Never. No.
Yeah, I have no problem meeting men and having conversations, numbers, dinners. I have no problem in that area.
But like you making the first move.
Right.
Sometimes I know how to put myself in an eye line, or I know how to give a look, or I know how to make
But
myself.
that's what I mean. You gotta put yourself in an eye line. It's still waiting for some action.
Right.
It's still waiting for some action on the part of somebody else. Whereas I can initiate whatever I want.
Yeah.
So it's a little different calculus, I think, for y'all. But that's just where I see it.
All right. All
Hey,
right. Well,
real quick. Sorry, I got to touch on a quick. Oh, sorry. You want to go?
Yeah. Let me give a
sorry.
little advice. Let me give a little advice here. Let me get my round on this one. I would say, you know, dating is a numbers game. So if you're really trying to be successful, you need to be trying to get out and touch as many people as possible. And the dating apps for me is one of the biggest nets that you can cast. You know, people nowadays are weird. You know, you approach women, they act like, you know, you might be the boogeyman or something because they're not used to men approaching them. Everybody's used to people being on these apps and stuff and getting in contact so they can see your whole lifestyle before they choose, you know, if you're somebody they want to be with. So, and the dudes are weird because they don't like approaching women anymore. They scared to talk to women in person anymore. So, me personally, I would say if you can talk to people in person, but your best bet nowadays is hitting all the dating apps and spamming them. Get yourself out to as many as you can, talk to as many people as you can, and deny as many people as you can as fast as possible, so that you can ultimately find the person who's lines up, right with you. But I mean, that would be my advice. But we can all go toe to toe real fast if you think I said something you don't like.
I hate it. Sounds like hell. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, it's a numbers game nowadays.
No, I don't agree. But
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I think that's goes back to what Miles was talking about. Some of the differences between men and women. We're seeking, we're hunting all the time, and so that's somewhere where we've got to play the numbers game. We're trying to sift through as many as possible to find that one, if that's what you're doing, right? So that is the most efficient way to do it without running into somebody like KB said that's going to think you're a weirdo, and call the police or call up her brothers on you. You're trying to avoid all those types of situations.
But here's the issue, Kay. Here's the issue. Feminism turned women into men. So they got to be out here hustling just like we are, because you used to, as a woman, you used to have men who would just come and approach you, and whoever was in your vicinity, that's who you was getting. But feminism has turned that whole thing on its ear now.
Yeah.
Now women have to behave like men and seek men. It's weird, but that's what feminism did. It made the playing field so that now you guys have to behave like men. Men are not going to approach you like they used to back in 1940, 1950, because that was when, your parents and your father and your family picked your husband. Nowadays, you guys are responsible for picking, and you guys weren't built for picking. And so now you got to actually operate like men do. But go ahead, Jamie. I seen you shaking your head over there.
Man, I'm just like, hell no to all of the above. No, first of all, the way you think is what governs your reality. If you keep saying feminism turned y'all into men, y'all got to do, then that's the reality you're going to live in. I am not a man. I don't function like a man. nor do I need to do masculine things to move my life forward in any way, but nor would I ever be like, well, feminism, and so now I got to go out here and do. I'm not adopting that story. I'm not repeating that story. And therefore, that story is not going to be my life, period. So I think we need to be careful about how we speak and also about how we tell women they should behave. Because if you keep telling women, well, feminism messed up, feminism, like, stop. Feminism and the way people behave should never change the way you behave. You should still be courting like men. You should still be giving the Frank Sinatra vibes, putting on something nice and being a gentleman. You should never change that because of a movement that didn't even belong to us. So we got to stop adopting that as ours, because
I don't know that he necessarily means on the individual level that we've changed our individual behavior. I think he's talking about the world, you know, that we currently occupy, and it is what it is. We can moderate our own behavior, but unfortunately, you know, we can't dictate reality just by what we think.
But you
You have
can.
no
That's the
idea.
thing.
You have no idea how much I wish that were true.
It's true.
Because I be thinking of a lot of shit that's not currently happening, but I digress. But no, so I think getting back to the original question was, how do I find people organically? And if it's, you know, Cher or another young lady asking me that question, my answer would be the dating apps. Now, if I'm being asked that by a dude, I would say, you know, the dating app is one thing, but he don't have to wait for nobody to approach him. You know, your only alternative is to do some masculine shit and walk up to a dude and get it off the hip. Which, I mean, if you feel comfortable, I know women usually aren't tuned into rejection, so that's like a scary prospect for y'all. But I mean, if you feel comfortable to do that, knock it out. But most of y'all, like, rejection don't even glance off of us.
Yeah,
I can
I
go
don't
talk to
know.
99 chicks and get turned down, but that one, I'm cashing in that one, and that's really the only one I remember.
But here's what I meant though. Like at the end of the day, yeah, individual people can do whatever you want to do. If you want to behave like a woman and act like a woman and have men court you and chase you, have at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not discouraging anybody from that. What I'm saying is the women like you who want to be courted need to talk to the women who are out here being boss chicks and turning down men and talking crazy to men, because now you have men who didn't grow up being men. They were raised by their mom. They didn't grow up being men. And when you guys as women say, "Oh, I'm a boss chick, you know, I don't need you. I don't need none of your shit," and this and that, those men cower because they're not the strongest men. And so then women fall into, well, now we don't have that many men anymore. Where are all the good men at? Well, it's all the good men were raised by women and now they behave a little bit more like women. So because they behave a little bit more like women, if you want to be successful, you're going to have to balance them out. Remember you talked about the yin and the yang, where the yin and the yang, men go masculine, women go feminine. Well, there's a lot of men nowadays that are a little bit more on the feminine than they are on the masculine, which means the women have to balance them out. There ain't a whole lot of men who are all on their masculine, like myself, like Kay, like Miles, where, you know, we learned a different type of way to pursue women. A lot of men nowadays don't pursue women like that. And so you can say, hey, let me try and find one of those men who, you know, behaves like a man and will be attracted to my femininity. The problem is they're few and far between nowadays. So the best way to meet people organically is to cast the biggest net you can so that you're meeting as many people as possible. Now, hey, maybe you'll click with those men, maybe you won't. But you won't know until you cast that big net. And so I think for me, that's what I'm saying. Women have to change the way they navigate the world, because the world is not the way it used to be. It's not the way we learned it in the 70s and the 80s and the early 90s. The world has changed, and not only are men different, but women are behaving different. And so that's where women like yourself probably should have that conversation with other women who are asking more masculine and saying, hey, y'all got to quit doing what you're doing because you're making it harder for me.
No, because they're not making it harder for me. They're only making it hard for me if I'm going to allow that to be true. So I'm just very big on that. So one thing that you said is I hear a lot of people say it's a numbers game, but the majority of women I talk to, that is way too exhausting for us. I think the best thing for us to do is understand who we are to the fullest, heal as much as possible, and really play up on the ability for us to magnetize the life we desire to us. All that other stuff vibrates out. I don't need to talk to the boss chicks. We don't have anything in common because I'm not talking like you. I'm not turning away men like you. And you are right. There are men who are definitely a little bit more feminine because they're raised by women, blah, 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 but they got it in them. And so it's not that I have to, put my pants on and handle it, but it requires a navigation. But for what I'm finding, most of the time, it's just a different kind of love. It's a different kind of patience. I can still be in my feminine, and it just takes me a little bit more to draw out from them as opposed to be assertive. Like, I don't need to do that. And that's just really how I feel from a woman's perspective. It could really be when you're operating in the truth of who you are, you don't have to do all that. All that other stuff is performance. And that's what's messing people
What
up.
I will say is this. I will say if you don't have a tolerance for penis pictures, the dating sites are gonna be a little rough for the ladies.
And I don't
What
want to
I
see it.
understand from the women, from what I've understood from the ladies who reported from the dating sites, you're gonna see some meat. Okay, you're gonna see some meat, and it's just one of those occupational hazards you're gonna have to be able to push past. But
All
if
right.
you can, yeah, I mean,
Good old Miles Johnson, bring us right on back. All right.
that's just
All
what
right.
that's what I
Yeah.
heard.
We're gonna wrap this up with the best way. The best way to do it is to stay in your feminine, talk to people, and be in God damn it, what's the word I'm looking for?
Did
Be
the
ready.
meat throw you off?
Be ready for some penis pics. That's
I think the meat might have threw him off.
that's what it all sums up for. All right. That's what it all sums up for. All right. Let's get Cher back in here. And what's your next question, Cher?
So my next question is, if you're living with your partner and both of you guys are like working full time, is the woman still expected to cook, clean, take care of the house, and pay half of the rent? Like, what do you guys think is fair?
All right. Let me throw this one to Jamie. Get us started. If you're living with your partner and both of you are working, is the woman or should the woman be expected to cook, clean, take care of the entire house, and pay half the rent?
Okay, so it's been a while since I've done a live-in situation, and I actually recently told myself I likely won't do that again unless I'm engaged. But pretty much out the gate, so the last couple of relationships where I dated seriously, I made it very clear, like, I want them to take care of the house bills. So if we're going to be doing that, they know right out the gate that my expectation is to be provided for because that's what I desire and what I like. I'm not going to be roommating 50-50 with the bills, blah, blah, blah. Because I like to cook and I like to clean and I like to take care of home and I like to be happy and stretched and worked out and joyful and available to do all of the cute little things that make his world better and more fun. So sometimes I work, sometimes I don't. I make money. Obviously, I live a comfortable lifestyle with, as a single woman. But yeah, I don't know about all that. That's the way I do things. So I guess if it was exactly this way, it would if you're going to do 50-50 on bills, he needed to be doing 50-50 on everything else. Like he need to get them dishes and bathroom and scrub the whatever. It would just need to be 50-50 across the board if this was the situation, in my opinion.
All right. Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. If you aren't providing the 100% of that leadership of the provider role, then it's difficult to say, okay, you're not going to pitch in on any other part, right? Your wife is, or your lady is working a full day, coming home frustrated, whatever the case may be, or maybe not, maybe just, coming home from a long day of work. And the expectation that you kind of sit up and don't do anything but wait for food and wash or clean up and all of that. I think that's not even in old society. In today's society, clearly, we were just talking about how feminism is kind of taking things over, but I don't think that's feasible for someone who isn't providing that 100% leadership role from a financial standpoint to expect that their spouse or their lady's going to go home and take care of all of that stuff on top of working. That's a bit much. I think as a man, you would need to be providing her the opportunity to not have to work to expect that type of production at the house.
All right. Miles, go ahead and give your take on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, I guess I see both sides of it, but I'm never doing that. Never doing that down the middle shit. So it's like, I guess the question is if a couple has decided that they're gonna go 50-50 or some kind of percentage split on the expenses, should the woman still be expected to do, traditional quote unquote woman, housekeeping shit, cooking, cleaning, all of that? I think so. I think I don't think there's a problem. If somebody comes into that house at 3 o'clock in the morning, is the man still expected to kill and die? Or are we splitting that responsibility down the middle too? So I mean, if I'm getting up to help do the cooking and the dishes, well, is she stepping in front of me with the heat when the home invasion goes down? So I just feel like we're in a bit of in this society now. Very few people are making it on one income. Most households, especially if there's kids, mouths that are eating but not working, most households have more than one person contributing to them, and I don't necessarily think that means that okay, the woman's no longer responsible to cook or none of that shit. I mean, when shit gets broken, when shit needs to be fixed outside, that's usually the dude that's swinging hammers and turning wrenches. So I do think we got our own shit that we're good at, but that's a kind of fluid situation. I don't know what y'all think.
All right. Well, as far as living on one household, I feel like you can still live on one household in this country. Now, you might have to
One
move
income.
to. I'm sorry, yeah, one income. What'd I say? One household.
One
Yeah.
household income.
Okay, yeah, you could definitely live on one income in your household. You just you have to find the person who is trying to live the same lifestyle as you and the lifestyle that you can afford, and B, you probably want to go to Texas somewhere or Oklahoma or some of those middle states where the cost of living is a lot lower than living in these big cities. But you can still definitely in this country have a household and take care of a household off of one income. Now, but most people don't do that because most people live beyond their means, and most men pick women that they can't afford. So that's something different. But to answer the question, should a woman be expected to clean and take care of the entire house and pay half the rent? I would put it like this:
Oof.
if you're a man that likes to argue and fight with your woman because she's in her masculine, then yeah, let her take care of the household and pay half the rent too. And don't complain when she arguing with you and bossing up on you and not listening to you because you basically making her accountable. And in my opinion, accountability is not for women. Accountability is for men because men lead and women follow. And so if you're going to be a leader, then you have to assume all the accountability. But if you want to share accountability, then you're going to share leadership too. That's just kind of what it is with me. So me personally, I would say absolutely, you should be taking care of everything and she shouldn't be having to pay on nothing if she's in the house cooking and cleaning and serving. But, that's just how I like to get down.
I think accountability is for women as well. It's just different, right? Like with the narratives that go around, sometimes some women are afraid to say that they don't want to pay bills and they don't want to do this and that. So it is up to us to have the accountability to be honest. And then I guess my question for Miles is like, when you expecting to get the sex? Because after 8 hours work, cooking a meal, grocery stores, cleaning, like I'm exhausted even hearing it. You think I'm about you? What woman's about to be like, I'm trying to, baby, where, let me get, like, what? There's no way. I don't,
Is that a
he would have,
rhetorical question, or did you
no,
want an answer to that?
I'm asking you, when would you, how does the sex life look if, according to what you shared about this scenario, that you still think the woman, because we're better in those roles, should be doing the cooking, the cleaning, and taking care of the house? Because you got to cook and clean every day. A burglar ain't coming in every day. So with you and your expectation of a woman cooking and cleaning every day, and according to this, question here, she's also going to work. When would you expect sex? What does your sex life look like? What do you think?
My sex life is regular and fulfilling. I would expect that to be the case, regardless of who's working what hours. Now, and within reason, right? I'm not saying that, yeah, you're gonna work a double, appendectomy and brain transplant, and then come home and top me off, And on days like that, I might have to, make a little beef stroganoff. It happens. But I guess what I'm saying is, uh, unless you planning on shirking that duty, if you're gonna tell me, hey, I worked a full shift like a grown up, so now I don't have enough left to fuck you. Okay, well, what do we do? Are we staying together, or are you giving me a pass to go get that fulfilled somewhere else? My sex drive ain't going in cold storage because you live like a functional adult. I'm not sure. I might not be understanding the question.
No, I think we just disagree. Which is
You
fine.
understood the question.
Oh.
You answered
Yeah, you answered
with the answer that you gave.
honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
All right. So, Cher, how do you? Oh man, get there we go. Cher, how do you feel about the answers that you heard when it comes to women cooking and cleaning and taking care of the entire house and paying bills?
Well, honestly, I was just curious because I was expected to do all of that with my ex-fiance. He expected me to pay half the rent, work full time, and then also take care of the laundry, cooking, cleaning, and doing everything in the whole household. And it was exhausting doing all of that.
Okay.
So that's
How
why I
was your
just curious.
sex life?
I'm like, what is the stance on that? And like, thankfully, my current boyfriend that I'm with now, like, granted we don't live together, but like, he's not like that. Like, he's a lot nicer. So I don't think I'll have to worry about that.
Because I don't live together.
No, not exactly. Yeah, not yet. Because I just fully support myself right now.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's put a button in that one. But something you said in your bio, you started an OnlyFans page. So
I did.
I kind of wanted to explore that.
Hey.
What made you first off, what type of OnlyFans is it, and what made you open an OnlyFans page?
So, funny story. I was actually on a way to a Ariel party where I was dressed up as Ariel and I was gonna do like face painting and all that stuff. And my transmission blew out on the freeway as I was driving to work. So I had to pull. Thankfully, I pulled over and I was right by the exit ramp. So I pulled over on the side of the exit ramp on like this little patch of grass. And then I had to call Cinderella because I hired Cinderella because they wanted two characters to come pick me up and rescue me. So I'm like, Cinderella, come, please come. And, my transmission went out. And then, she came and picked me up. We did the party or whatever. And then I didn't have a car. And then thankfully my mom let me borrow hers for a little bit. But since I didn't have a car, my boyfriend was like, you know what? Haven't you been meaning to make an OnlyFans? Because like a lot of photographers that I've been working with have been like, hey, like, where's that OnlyFans? Like, where can I see more? And I was like, you know what? I don't have a car right now. Like, I'm in between cars, and like life can't get any worse. And if my boyfriend's going to be supportive and like making content with me, then sure, let's do it. So I signed up, And within the first month, I actually got to the top 9% of OnlyFans in all the world.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
So I thought that story was going to go in a completely different direction when you start talking about you were on the freeway and I
It was
thought
Cinderella. I
Yeah,
was like,
and
okay, hold on.
Ariel,
Let me
Yeah.
I
strap
was
Yeah.
seeing
in.
something
Yeah.
else.
Do I need
Yeah.
to grab?
No,
Okay.
this is like
All
car
right.
broke down.
Oh
Whoa.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking something different too. I was like, okay, so this guy came and rescued her, and he thought she looked great in the Ariel costume, and now she's doing this whole like,
He was a pizza delivery boy too.
right, like this whole thing just went on in my head.
Showed up with a large sausage.
She's like in this red wig and fins, and it's just like this whole like, I'm like, wow, people are
Nah.
Yeah.
freaky.
She
Wait,
might
what?
have put her.
Did we lose her?
Yeah, she probably got a phone call. She probably wants to put her phone on do not disturb.
So
Because
I wonder what kind of content she does
Yeah,
do. Like you
that's
said,
what
is
I'm
it
gonna ask
nudity?
her as
Is
soon as
it
she comes back. I hope she dials back in pretty soon so that we we can get this.
Yeah, because I got some follow ups on
right?
that one.
I
Well,
need to know.
while we wait,
I have to think
my
of a
little
name for that
sidebar.
one.
My sidebar was to you, Jamie. You mentioned that you had some friends that were guys.
Mhm.
I think us three are completely lost on that, like how that even works. Because I don't have very many, if at all, female friends. So how does that work to have a friend that's a guy?
Well, I mean, we're not friends like we're sitting up and like eating pizza and having sleepovers, you know what I mean? But we've known each other for a long time. We've been able to do some work type stuff together. It's a little they're good friendships, but they're a little more touch and go. Like I have a friend, Mike, we've been friends forever, but he's always had a girl or a different kind of, you know, so it just depends. Like I have guy friends. Like I said, we're not like this where it's like we're just kicking it and they're calling me up and we're texting all the time, not like that, but we are close, we're cool. I support their girlfriends and whatever they got
Oh,
going
there she
on.
go.
Yeah.
No, my
So
All
phone
right.
overheated. It literally said temperature. And I was like, oh no.
Oh
because
wow.
it was getting spicy,
Oh
Shit,
wow.
that
girl.
It
Okay.
OnlyFans is
was.
hot,
I was
huh?
like, oh no. So I took the
All
cover
right.
off and like I unplugged the charger. We're good. I'm fine.
Transmissions is heating
All
up,
right. Cool.
phones.
Cool.
But oh,
Man.
oopsies.
Cool. So let's get back to your story.
Okay.
So now you do content with your boyfriend. You guys
I
like what
do.
kind of content are you guys doing?
Well, because we get requests. So pretty much like for $9.99 you get like the basic subscription where you can see kind of like behind the scenes for my photo shoots. I'll show like booty pictures. You can see the boobs. But if you pay more for like the videos or if you have special requests, that's when I can do other videos like anal sex or like a certain
Mm.
positions for sex or like a blowjob video or a certain point of view, masturbation video, like a foot video, rubbing oil on my boobs video, like just whatever the guy's into, and then they'll make a request. They'll be like, hey, for $50, can you make this kind of video for me? And I'm like, sure, I'll do
And
it.
so did you suggest this or did your boyfriend suggest this?
My boyfriend suggested it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because he
And
knew
so
that a
how was
lot
your
of
relation?
photographers have been asking. Because I got another request because I have people coming in my DMs being like, do you have an OnlyFans? I want to see more content. Or even like, hey, do you have naked pictures? Like, I will give you $100 if you give me 10 of your naked pictures. And I'm like,
Mm.
And I thought about it. Or, hey, do you sell feet pictures? Or, hey, do you have point of view videos of you and your boyfriend having sex? So I've gotten so many requests over the past years. I just told my boyfriend about it. I'm like, I think it's funny. And then finally he's like, it's great. You don't have a car right now. Like, why don't you do it? And that's what I was like, okay, if you're okay with it, like, let's make that bank, let's do it.
And so how was your relationship with your boyfriend since you guys started the OnlyFans together?
Good. Really good.
Yeah.
It's fun because
It's
sometimes
better
like
than it was?
I'm not even asking for him to film content. Like I'll just be like sucking his dick and he'll just whip out his phone and he'll start recording. I'll be
He's
like,
here
all
for
right,
it.
all right, go get the tip. But yeah,
Okay.
so it's really fun. It's been kind of like a nice little bonding experience. Or like sometimes I'll call him and be like, hey, I got a request. You got to do this to me next time. He's like, okay.
Oh, wow. And how long have you guys been together for?
Just a year.
Just a year. All right. Now, do you think you would have done it if you weren't with this man? If you were single, do you think you still would have signed up for it?
I mean, it was a nice motivator to have like the push, like, oh, it's okay. But I think in the back of my mind beforehand, what stopped me before was like, what if I'm doing this and I can't find a man? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, but the fact that like he was okay with it, he suggested it, I was like, you're on board, I'm on board. But it's like without that, like, I don't know if I could have done it because I don't want to be like that girl that did it and then like, you know, and then it's like, oh wait, she only does that, because sometimes they'll judge you even though I'm not that type of way. So it's like I want someone to actually know me for me and not judge me for like my other side that I have.
Okay. I'll open it up to the rest of the panel. Anybody else have questions?
Yeah, questions?
I had a query, if I might.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were doing the kids' parties. Now, does one of these hustles ever get in the way of the other? Like, do you show up, to be Ariel at the birthday party, and the dad's like, "You look a little familiar." Like, is that something that is a concern?
I mean, thankfully that's never happened, but I've hoped that if he knows me for that, like he would keep it on the DL and not want to be like, hey, I know you from your other site. Because then I'd be like, what are you looking at, sir? I'm Ariel. Like I would deny it. And especially because at those parties, I'm wearing like the red wig. I have like the green contacts. I have a bunch of makeup on. So you can't really tell it's me. And I have a separate page for my parties. Like for my Instagram for my parties, that has my face and my characters. It's not
I hope you're not working on one side.
It's literally just Enchanted Forest parties, and it's like super, super kid friendly. Versus my modeling one kind of has like more of like the lingerie and kind of provocative stuff. So I like to keep that separate.
I got you.
Okay, so you're still doing the Ariel kids parties and you're doing the OnlyFans too. You're doing both of them at the same time.
And modeling. I do it all because I freelance fully.
Now, there is the
how
potential.
I support myself. I don't work anywhere else. I freelance.
There is a potential for some mashup. So, like maybe the OnlyFans as Ariel, right?
You know what?
Like the mermaid fin flips off.
Yeah, I had a Hermione party
I don't know.
Harry Potter, and I did like a sexy Hermione shoot that I was gonna post to my OnlyFans. So I have like a sexy Hermione from Harry Potter set that I was gonna post. So
you can spell it. You can spell it.
Or I could be like a.
You can spell it HAIRY Potter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Just like the mashups.
You might have a new manager over here.
Right. I'm like,
I'm just saying.
Y'all need to
talk to me. I feel like there's some. Listen, we'll get into that. Don't worry.
Yeah,
there's some money to be made here, huh?
Yeah. There's definitely some meat on the bone.
Right.
If you'll pardon the
pun.
So how busy are you to get in the top, 9%? Because it sounds like you can make bank and all these things, but for like, I don't know. So just tell me the math on it. Cause like $50 a pop, like, I don't know. That just, to me, it sounds like you'd be busy as hell. Or is it mostly is it $9.99, like $1,000 or $9.99? And you just have a lot of subscribers. How do you market? Like
how? Yeah. So basically it's $9.99 for the basic membership. So it's $9.99 per month just to see like the basic stuff. But then I have guys messaging me like, and then I have little things like literally some guys will be like, hey, like here's $20. Look at my dick. And I'm like, okay. And then I have a little menu. There's actually a dick rating menu where people will pay me to rate their dick. And then for $50, I also have small dick humiliation. If someone wants me to humiliate their dick and tell them how small it is, I do that too. And then the dick ratings too. And then some guys just pay me just to talk to them. And then some guys will just pay me just because like they want to, work with me in the future for a shoot. They'll just pay me like $50 and then they'll just want to talk to me. And then sometimes they'll have the requests. And then it does add up pretty good though. So that was within like the first month, which is good. And it's like I just have to keep the momentum going. A lot of it was just me posting it to my Instagram story, honestly, is how I was marketing myself. And then I did have to block my family from seeing those ones. So like when I had it, I would hide my family from seeing it because my family's really conservative because my mom's Korean and my dad's white. So like since my mom's Asian, it's very like, you know, like kind of frowned upon. So that they don't know. It's a secret. So I would kind of try to block them from seeing all that stuff and I would just post it. And I had a bunch of people hitting me up. And it just kind of spread that way. And thankfully I was able to get a decent amount of subscribers. And then it's just, but the thing is like, you don't even need that many subscribers to get to that. You just need those guys to spend a lot of money on you, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And then I can inbox certain things too. So I can like schedule inboxes. So say, for example, I have a really hot blowjob video where I'm, you know, deep throating and, you know, whatever, make lots of noises and, you know, and it's hot. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to sell this for $45. I can send a message to all my subscribers and have that video there for sale. So like, hey guys, if you want to see like a really sexy blowjob video, like here you go. And then they could buy it. They have the choice to buy it. So you can schedule posts for videos to be bought that way through all your followers.
Do you find yourself losing respect for men? You know, kind of working in OnlyFans and kind of, you know, doing these things and seeing how savagery, like how much of a savage these dudes are, and all the weird twisted shit that they want to watch and beat off to, and all this. Do you find yourself like a little bit losing respect for men, like you fucking animals?
Honestly, I mean, sometimes it's just unexpected because it's like, this really turns you on? Like, some of the people's turn-ons is just like, obviously, I know everyone has their kinks, but it's like, certain things I just don't understand. And then I do a little bit. But you know what? It kind of makes me happy because it's like, not to be all like, oh, equal rights, but it's like, this is my way of getting back the equal rights part. You know, it's like, hey, if men are willing to pay me because I'm cute and they want to, you know, see my boobs or like interact with me or like, you know, just because they support me and my art, then let them do it. You know, I'm going to be in my feminine energy and accept the gifts and be like, thank you so much. You know, what do you want for this? And it's been working out for me really well. And it's cool because it's like, I don't have to try. I've never been one to have to try to go out in bars. Like literally I can just exist and now people be like, do you want to buy you a drink? Or like, do you want a shot? Or like, what's your number? And it's like, I just have that energy that brings people in. Like, honestly, I've always had a boyfriend. I've never had to struggle with all that. That's why, you know, it just comes easily to me where people will just DM me and I'm like, okay. And it's allowed me to make some connections with people. Like I've had guys just, pay me like $50 and they're like, you know what? I really like your voice. Can I just jack off to your voice? And I'm like, sure. You know, like little things like that. Like it's just really interesting because it's insightful in the things that they're willing to pay for. Because I didn't know until OnlyFans, honestly. Like I thought like, okay, they'll buy me a drink, they'll buy me dinner, or like they'll give me gas money, but I didn't think like, hey, like they're gonna pay me for that. You know, like it does kind of open my eyes a little bit more.
Go ahead, Miles. What were you about to say?
I was just gonna say because KB was saying that, you know, what absolute pigs men are, and admittedly, like I'd never deny that. But have you gotten a request where it was like even you was like, okay, you know what, like I'll talk about how little your dick is, how, you know, you can jerk off to my feet and whatever else you're into, but like that's where I draw the, like, have you gotten one of them?
I've gotten foot requests, and it's funny because I'm not into feet, but I'll do it. I'm like,
no, I'm saying like, have you gotten a request where you was like, okay, no, that's where I can't.
Yes. So, have you heard of something called airtight?
Never.
Yes. I mean, no. What is that?
So airtight is where you have a penis in every hole. So like a penis in your mouth, penis in your ass, and penis in your vag all at the same time.
Okay.
And I was like, I am so sorry.
That's your shit, huh, Miles?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I mean, okay.
Politely decline.
I just learned something new
that's
today.
what people are into out there.
Thank you.
All right. right. That
Yeah.
that was wild.
So airtight. That's where the
Yeah.
rubber meets the road.
Yeah, that's where you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where the rubber
As
meets the road.
management, these are the things I'm gonna need to be able to be aware of. So okay, cool.
Yeah,
I did
and I
try to
think,
compromise. I was like, I could do like like 2 dildos and a real dick. Like, is that okay? They're like, no, I want 3 real dicks. I'm like,
Oh, they wanted all real dicks.
yeah.
I just
And what was they
assumed
trying
that
to
they
give
meant
you for
your
that?
boy.
Like $50?
Just
okay.
you just
Oh
surprised
no,
Miles.
we
with
need
that one.
the price is going up for that.
The
Yeah.
price
I know.
We're not-
I'm like, oh,
no.
way
maybe
up for
like
that.
200 for that airtight video.
All right.
You know?
Oh hell, I'm thinking
Right.
I'm already. Nah,
I don't
need way
imagine
more
you
than
could
that.
get into airtight for less than 300. That's just my best guess.
I know, one for each penis, at least 300. Exactly.
Yeah. At least 100 a dick. Like, let's be reasonable.
All right. Let me. I want to ask one last question, and then we'll move to the next topic.
Yes.
Do you ever worry that if you break up with your boyfriend and now you're doing the OnlyFans, do you ever worry that maybe it'll be hard for you to get another boyfriend if you and your boyfriend happen to split?
Honestly, no, because I have so many people in my DMs being like, if you ever need a third guy, let me know. I'm here. So I don't think I'm going to have problems finding a guy.
No, I mean an actual like boyfriend, husband, long-term relationship, not like a replacement for your current boyfriend and on OnlyFans.
I mean, if it comes down to it, if I really feel like, oh, this is kind of, sucking that side of me, then I would close it down.
Okay.
What about for you men? Does that matter to you? Can you guys answer that same
exactly.
question?
What do you guys think? Would you ever date a girl that had an OnlyFans?
KB, doesn't this kind of go into what you were one of the things you were?
Yeah. We'll answer the question that she had, and then we'll roll right into the next one.
Okay.
What do you think, Kay? Would you ever date a woman who does OnlyFans?
I can't say that I wouldn't, because I'm open to different things, but like if I'm staring at her getting dug out consistently, no, like
What about airtight?
To overcome. But when you think about it, like, is whoever you're married to, were you her first? Probably not. So like, it's tough to really judge that just because it's on camera. But I think there is something to be said about it being on camera that, was probably more difficult to overcome just psychologically. But, if you have that connection with somebody, I think, there's a way to overcome it. I'm probably just too childish to do that.
Miles, what do you think?
45-year-old Miles today, no. But, there was no OnlyFans when I was, 20 years ago. And if there was, I'm almost sure I'd be dating several OnlyFans content creators. So, this is all kind of about perspective and where you're at in life. At this point, no, but like I'm sure that's a lot of fun on a few levels.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with dating a woman who does OnlyFans, but the only I wouldn't have a long-term relationship with a woman who's done OnlyFans and who has multiple videos out, on the internet and on the web. Now, the only caveat is if me and her did the OnlyFans together, then that's something different. But if I was to see a woman who had an OnlyFans and had a bunch of videos out, and then she wanted to be interested in me long term, I probably wouldn't at this stage of my life. Just to be honest. ADAM22 from No Jumper, him and his girlfriend Lena do OnlyFans together, and he recently let her kind of do OnlyFans by herself with another black dude. With a black dude. But let's run the video just to kind of explain the whole situation, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Hey guys, guess who I'm shooting with today? It's finally happening. Wow, I did not know you were going to do that.
So I've been with my girl for 7 years. We just got married. We're not in an open relationship, but from a porn perspective, we shoot with other girls, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
For the weekend,
Oh no.
Something like that happened.
she filmed her first ever scene with another man.
I know you was mad.
Shit.
You was angry.
I agreed to it, so I wasn't. I say angry might not be the word.
But you was kind of like disappointed a little bit.
Does Adam's wife truly love him? Because, in my opinion, if a woman really loves you, if she's really in love with you, she can't have sex with other men. She just can't bring herself to have sex with other men. She doesn't want it. She's repulsed by the idea. But not everybody believes what I believe. What do you guys think? Does Adam's wife truly love him by wanting to do a solo porn shoot with a very tall black man a month after their wedding?
What size shoes did he wear?
I'm gonna shoot to the ladies first.
Oh, okay.
Let's have Cher kind of give her perspective. What do you think? Do you think his wife really loves him?
Honestly, no. Cause like I can only speak for myself. Like when I'm in love, I cannot be with another guy. Like I'm infatuated with my person like that. Like my boyfriend is the only person who can get me going. Like I feel like my like I would literally freeze up at the thought of another guy trying to get at me. You know, so it's like I am repulsed by every other guy. Where it's like no. So I honestly, I mean, unless they're in a open relationship and they have that sort of agreement, but for the most part, I don't think she's like truly in love with him. Otherwise, I don't think she could bring herself to do that.
Yeah. Kev, what do you think?
I think there's a different type of person when you do porn. I don't know the whole story, backstory, but it sounds like they've been doing porn, and she's probably been doing porn prior to their relationship. That's a different type of cat. Those are different type of people. It's tough to say that when you for a living do that on a daily basis, whether or not you can hold on to a real relationship. Now, me personally, no, I couldn't. Like I wouldn't give my wife permission to go and do a porn shot with another dude, or in any case, give her permission to have sex with another man. So for me personally, no. Now, does she love him? That's where it's like difficult to understand. I just couldn't ever put myself in a position to say, oh yeah, go ahead and let this big black man smash you real quick. Like there's no way that's going to happen.
Big black one, okay?
Yeah, I mean, hey, any of them, like any man, right? So,
right.
My stance personally is I couldn't let it happen, but whether she loves him or not is a difficult question to answer because I don't know their mentality and what goes into being a porn star.
Yeah, Jamie, go ahead and give us your opinion. What do you think? Does she truly love this man?
My answer is kind of a mix between Cher and Kay because it's like we're not, they always say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife type of thing. So that's kind of what I think about her mentality. Whereas, Cher and I, like if it was just me, like, no, like I only want to be with one man. I don't get down like that either. I'm not really interested in just dudes everywhere like that. So that wouldn't work for me, but I also don't do porn. So I don't think I would, it's just tough. They're going to have problems. And I actually predict that I don't know if their relationship is going to work out. I don't know. I don't know how she feels. It's such a gray area because I don't know that type of energy. Like I couldn't imagine being married and then being like, let me just try this out on camera. Babe, you cool with that? Like I would have never even asked. I think even the fact that she asked, and then, I saw some other interview where he not that he was reluctant, but he kind of like left it up to her, so to speak. But just even asking out of the gate is like asinine to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't really say if she loves him or not. But
seems like you're leaning towards she doesn't. Because that's where I'm at. I'm at the same place. If she's asking, that means
She asked, so
that means that's what she wants.
Yeah.
So, Miles, give us your perspective. Go on and tell us.
So I don't know if anybody else has followed this as closely as I have, but Adam made a statement yesterday. In case anybody was worried, he has reported that Lena's vagina has gone back to its pre-BBC size. So I know we were probably all very concerned about that.
That's
All
not how
seems to be
vagina
well
works,
on that
by the
front.
way.
I mean, listen, it's a conversation you got to have. I'm sorry, but no. So, from what I'm gathering is that we are 5 squares sitting on this panel on this podcast. Square in the pimp world. If a pimp or actual hoe looked at us, we're squares in their world. And I think the question that you asked, KB, is love in the square context. A jealous kind of love, a possessive, end of the world kind of love. Whereas pimps and hoes, if you ask them, they would tell you they love each other, but it's not square love. So the thing where, this woman is repulsed by the idea of sleeping with any other man other than me. For a prostitute with a pimp, that's probably true. But her rationale is that I love this man so much that I want him to have this so much that I'm going to go do this thing that repulses me, and I'm going to do it over and over and over and over. And that's how I'm demonstrating love to him. Doesn't register to us. The thought of Trevor, the dick slanger, spending the night alone with our girl would basically turn our stomachs. Us and our girl would both feel the same thing in our stomach if it was us. But in Adam's case, I feel like he's been doing porn with her and making money with her and monetizing her for so long that this is not really a big departure. They've had sex with other girls together, so it was kind of a foregone conclusion. But I can't say she doesn't love him. She doesn't love him in the context that us squares would understand. I'll leave it. I'll put it there.
That's fair.
Okay, so I'll put it to you like this: the women who sell vagina on the streets on Fig and Long Beach Boulevard and some other streets that I might know that a lot of people else than me don't know.
Yeah, because I've never. What streets are these? I'm not familiar with. Do they do airtight down there?
Yeah, it's one of the streets.
Hashtag airtight.
Those women are dead inside. All right, they don't love anything. All right, they're cold and gone inside behind their eyes. All right, those women don't exist.
Wow.
All right, so they don't love these men that much that they want to do whatever it takes. No, they're dead inside. They're searching for anything, and unfortunately. They can't be resurrected. All right. It is what it is. Now, women who are still alive with souls, with actual souls.
Okay.
All right. Those type of women are repulsed by the idea of sleeping with other men when they're in love with a man. They are. Now, my thing is, I heard ADAM22 say he did it because, he was making money having threesomes with 2 women, and he wanted to give her the opportunity to make more money with a dude. And to me, that tells me that he doesn't really understand how women view sex and how men view sex. We view sex completely different. All right. We don't see sex as intimately as women do. And when women stop seeing sex as intimate, it's because their feelings are gone. They don't care about that man to an extended depth. It's kind of like he's useful. I like him. He served a purpose, but I'm not in love with him. I'm not in love with him. Women's sex comes with emotion. Men's sex is emotionless. Now, can we have emotional sex as men? Yeah, but most of the time, we can have sex with women we hate. Women can't do that. Women don't have sex with men they absolutely are disgusted by and hate. Us, on the other hand, absolutely. I would say a lot of the women we have sex with,
we prefer it, is what you'd say.
We don't love
women don't operate that way, and unfortunately, ADAM22 he sees women as equal sexually, and that couldn't be anything further from the truth.
He did say he felt a way about it, and I think it's going to cause a massive problem because, first of all, if this dude hit any spots that Adam ain't hitting, she is never going to forget that. She's going to crave that man. They might be in each other's phone. Not only that, Adam might think it's cool, but now he's going to have to ask himself, when they're having sex, is she thinking about him? She's coming in the house cheesing. Did she just get some? Or she think, like, there's just so much involved that I don't know if that's a line. I think it's going to drive him a little nutty. The what ifs and the maybes and the did this and did that. It might be a problem.
Yeah, he's not going to have to think about whether or not that she's thinking that. He should know that she's thinking that. There's no, oh, I wonder if, no, she's thinking about Trevor the dick slanger dicking her down. And that's just something they got to live with. And that's going to, I mean, if you can live with that, cool. I couldn't live with something like that. So
I don't think
now the part of this that I feel like is being not overlooked, but we're genericizing this, if I can coin a phrase. I think the BBC is the wild card in this whole equation, because if she had sex with, Christy accountant from up the block, I don't know that this is as big a story.
Yeah.
Some people have gone to the adult sites and done some research on the gentleman in question, and the thing it's like it's got an elbow or something. I mean, the man I'm guessing he made an impression on the young lady Lena, and
that's why.
Yeah.
That's why I put the question down there. Does she truly love him? Because she didn't choose the accountant downstairs.
Very true.
Right down the street.
Very true.
She chose that guy.
Trev,
right?
Huh? Young Trev.
Just for him. She been watching him.
Yeah.
She been watching him.
Yeah. That was a choice.
Okay. He ain't watched behind his ears.
That's right.
Right? She been watching him.
She been watching him close.
Yeah. For a long
Definitely.
time.
Like, you have anybody in mind? Yep.
Oh, let me think about it. Yep. That dude right there.
There's this one guy.
Yeah.
Goddamn
There's
tripod.
I don't know if I don't know. What do you think? Yeah.
And he said yes.
She definitely doesn't love him, and she doesn't love him, and she likes him. He makes a bunch of money. He pays for the house. He pays for the kids. Gave her a baby, but
so you don't believe pimp hoe love is a real phenomenon?
It's too toxic to be real. It's real in a toxic way. It's trauma.
Well, a lot of love is real in a toxic way. Let's put that
but
out there.
When we're talking about pimps and hoes, I'm just being specific,
Most
of us are trying to heal and trying to be in what we believe are loving platonic relationships, but just speaking to pimps and hoes, I think it's all broken and it fits because it's traumatic. Like it's that.
Because I think to Adam and Lena, their love is in that context. If you're talking about the way we love our women and you guys love, I mean, nobody.
So.
You wouldn't have 200 threesomes with your dude and other girls if you called yourself in love. That's not regular, quote unquote, square love. I think in the context of what they do, which is fucking for money, that's as close to love as they get. So I think
that pimps don't love hoes. Pimps are way too cold. Like pimps don't love nothing.
No.
If you a pimp out here, you cold as ice.
Mm-hmm.
You don't love nothing.
They would say
all you love
the money.
Different. All you love is that money.
The money.
That's
they would
it.
say pimps would say they love their hoes.
Yeah, nah, they don't. They say that for the camera.
Right.
Hoes would say they love their pimps.
Because they'll beat them and you know what I mean. It's not that.
Yeah, nah,
it's not love.
You gotta be too cold. You gotta be way too cold to be loving hoes. You can't love nobody as a pimp. You
love in the sense that that's what I think. I think it's a departure from anything we can understand as love. I'm not saying it's healthy, but who am I to say that my
addiction?
Love is the only kind? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think the women, I think the prostitutes are soulless. They don't know what the hell's going on.
Goddamn
And
zombies out there on speed
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
What was the
they
name of that
are.
speech you said? I'm not.
Succubusses.
Oh,
I
a
don't.
That's
Yeah.
it.
succubus. Oof.
That's it. And pimps is just cold as ice. You know, if you want to be a pimp, if you want to live that, if you want to be up in the isms, you got to be cold as ice. You can't be caring about no motherfucking broad. You got to be cold, nigga. Let me come back. Let the old boy come back. Let me come back real quick.
Lost you for a sec there, huh?
Get him, Powder.
All right, goddamn it.
Walking real money.
Want to buy some shoes over there?
Yeah, I need some gators.
Get it? There is a darkness inside of me. It wants to get out, wants to walk around. It wants some walking around money, and it wants to buy some shoes, and it wants to walk up with the people and say, "Hey, Gator don't play no shit." You feel me? Gator never been about that. Never been about playing no shit.